Hey, Dexter fans, welcome. We are the Antler Queens back again covering Dexter Resurrection, and we have a very, very special guest in the studio tonight, Reese Antoinette, who plays Joy Kamara. Welcome, Reese.
Having me.
Yeah.
We're so happy. As you know, we were chatting a little before we went live, but yeah, this is kind of very last minute, so we're so grateful that you were willing to jump on with us. And I don't think a character has made it into one of my top 5 moments after so few lines as you did. It was actually, I think it was either episode 2 or 3, and it was that really sweet scene at dinner with Blessing and Joy. I loved that so much.
Thank you. That's really sweet.
Yeah, it was adorable. I know you were a fan before the show, so that's super exciting. We'll talk about that for sure. But whenever we have a guest on, we like to do a fun little 2-minute speed round.
Okay.
But we are going to do something a little different tonight and ask you to answer as many questions as you can in 2 minutes from the perspective of Joy.
All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. You ready, Reese?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
We are off.
Joy's favorite type of tea.
Okay. Green.
How does Joy feel about cranberries?
Way too sour.
First celebrity crush.
Oh, John Hamm.
Does Joy think double dipping at a party is ever acceptable?
Absolutely not.
If given the opportunity to fly into space, given today's technology, would Joy take it? Does Joy prefer cake or pie?
Pie.
At what age does Joy want to retire?
Never.
Would Joy go to a movie alone?
No, with Sam.
If Joy were given an all expense paid trip to Cleveland, would she take it?
If there was like a benefit for the acupuncture business, yeah.
Does Joy ever post inspirational quotes on social media?
That's like her thing. Absolutely.
Awesome.
You guys like all the quotes.
Joy's favorite clothing brand.
Oh, I think she's like a free people kind of vibe.
Nice. Something Joy could eat for a week straight.
Sam's kombucha.
Joy's favorite childhood TV show.
Oh my gosh. No idea. Pass.
Does Joy prefer black beans or refried beans in her burrito?
Black beans.
Does Joy know how to salsa dance?
She learned from Batista.
Yes, she did, didn't she? From Joy's perspective, Super Mario Brothers or Zelda?
Ooh, love this question.
Time.
Oh, we'll let you answer anyway.
Yeah, Zelda.
Zelda, okay.
For sure.
You actually cleaned up pretty well. You got, let's see here, 17. Awesome.
Cool. Those are fun.
So you are our current reigning champion.
Well, I do love video games, so that was fun that was the last question.
Oh, good. Awesome. I know that you've got an early day tomorrow, so we don't want to keep you too long. But we do have, we are very interested in your journey and would love to talk to you more about it. Jazz, do you want to start or should I?
Yeah. The Kamaras are so kind to Dexter and welcome him into the family with no hesitation. In this tumultuous time in our country, it's a tumultuous time in our country for immigrants. Were you aware when you were shooting the importance of showing a normal immigrant family on a popular show like Dexter was going to be in today's climate?
I think a couple of things with that. I think, coming from an immigrant family myself, it felt very natural to just be in the family and to live in the reality of what it is to make sacrifices, to go through the things you went through at home, to be a first generation like Joy is, and to be rooted in just the reality of being in America and what that comes with. And when I saw that the show had this family, I was just so happy that it had all the dynamics of the family, the grandmother, the mom, the dad, and also in the house, there's so many photos that production asked for me, like kid photos. And because I'm the only child, it's a lot of us like at different stages, but really it's a lot of me being a kid around the house. And that's such a strong way to reinforce the importance of home and what home means. And I think in the show, we do our best to really be honest about what home is. And it feels very loving and genuine. And when you come to this country, there's a sense of, setting roots and trying to feel at peace and at home with the space that you have. And Dexter's doing the same thing in a way, coming into the city and trying to put his own roots into his own home. So it felt like a synergy that felt natural. And I feel like the writing did a good job of, bringing us together and creating a home, although it's two separate things happening on those floors. But
it's an incredibly real family.
A home is a home.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think everyone fell in love with that whole family just right off the bat.
Yeah. Nice to hear.
In fact, like I remember talking to Jazz right after when we were covering the first episode, or not the first episode, the first episode that you were in. I think that was that episode 2, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
2.
Okay. And like I remember telling Jazz, just as soon as he introduced you to Dexter, I think you just said, "Hi, nice to meet you," or something, whatever. You had 1 or 2 lines, and I was like, I liked her immediately. Super charismatic. So
yeah, that was my first time on set. We shot in order. And so that was my introduction into the Dexter verse, but also my introduction to Michael C. Hall, to Antari, to everybody on that day. And so it really was an introduction, like through and through. And I feel like, it was just one of the best beginnings, I think, of a show that I've loved for so long. And just incredible crew, and the entire team was just so warm. And I feel like it was, easy to kind of exude that warmth back because it was already a part of the family, but it felt like it was a family also that I was walking into of the Dexter world. So, I really, really value that. Like, because I'm a fan, like, I'm like, oh, I'm taking care of this. Like, this means awesome to me. So, to have a character like Joy that exudes the joy, that she has, it felt very like, oh, I know this very intimately because I share a lot of things with Joy in that way. But also I felt like the show was doing a great job of establishing what the family's warmth is in the show too. So, yeah.
Nice. I'm dying to know something.
Yeah.
As a fan, did you watch New Blood prior to?
Oh, of course.
Okay. We all love Harrison. We all love Jack Alcott. He's doing such a phenomenal job.
Oh, yeah.
And Harrison has just become this sweet little cinnamon roll.
Yes.
What has your opinion of Harrison evolved between New Blood and Resurrection, or have you always kind of had the same opinion of Harrison?
I've always had the same opinion of him. I actually told him that, like, I love Harrison. I love him from when he was a baby, to be fair. But now that he's talking and back in, in New Blood and then now in Resurrection, I think his character is so complex and dynamic. And I love what he's doing. And I think Jack is a great actor, person. And also Harrison, what he's doing with Harrison is so intricate. And I'm excited to see what happens with Harrison next. I think where we are is an exciting place to he can go in many different directions, right? Yes. So I think it's fun to see how we saw him enter the Dexter verse in New Blood and like to see where he is now. It's a lot of like growing up in a way, with your dad. And I think that's really fun.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm glad that he's like seeing the love now that, because not everybody was so warm to him at first. I mean, to the character, not necessarily.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I know what you meant. But yeah, no, I love Harrison. I think he's a great character. I'm so glad that they added that into the storyline.
I wanted to ask you, since you are a fan, you've talked in interviews before about how surreal it was to go from being a fan to just entering the Dexterverse.
Yeah.
Can you share maybe a particular moment on set, like with Michael C. Hall or David Zayas, somebody from the original cast, or just or just a random moment that just kind of smacked you upside the head and made you say, "Wow, I'm really part of this iconic world now"?
Yeah. The scene where Batista was teaching Blessing salsa.
Okay.
I was sitting on the couch. I think I have like one line in the it was something I said something in that couch or something, and I remember watching them do that scene over and over because Dexter comes in and Batista's been teaching Blessing how to do salsa, and I was just sitting there and I was like, wait, am I watching this? Or wait, I'm in it. I was like, wait, I'm in it. I'm not watching this situation. Like, I'm actually in it. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I've seen you guys do this thing. They were just so naturally connected. And, you know, of course I knew I've read all of the episodes. So for me, it was up until that point, actually, I read up until that point. So for me, I was like, oh, this is so beautiful and natural. And I know this relationship, you know, I love this relationship. And now I'm sitting here, not like in the audience, I'm sitting here on the set. And it was one of those beautiful moments where I was like, what is happening? But I loved every minute of it. This season is so incredibly special. I'm so excited for everyone to experience the entire thing. If you haven't seen anything yet, please watch it. I'm not just saying that because I'm in it. I would have said that regardless, to be fair. Yeah. But you know, it's just such great work. And Michael and David are just, I mean, they're veterans, and it's just incredible to watch them on the screen. It really is.
I'm gonna give a really hot take here. I've thought about this. I've tossed it around in my head. This is honestly my favorite Dexter season of all time.
Me too.
Okay, I'm glad you said it because we're all here, so we can be honest. I felt this way the moment I started reading every episode, like, because you know we get it beforehand, and I was like, oh, people are like, it's so well done on so many levels. I agree with you. I was gonna say something, I was gonna give away something, but I agree with you. I really, really do. I think also what I really love is the growth of the character too. I think for me as a fan, when I was watching the show, I was like, what is Dexter doing now? You know, like, and then like we get the answer, and it's so much more than I could have imagined. Do you know what I mean? I think it's just like, you know, like when you have an itch, like a mosquito bite, and all of a sudden like you scratch and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so good. And it's like, I want to keep scratching. I want more and more. But like, it's just so well done, man. It's so good. Yeah.
I think you can say that objectively, because if you look at, I mean, the ratings kind of speak for themselves.
Yeah, like you're right. That's true. That's very true.
Let me ask you your on-screen dynamic with Ntari Guma Mbahomwine, who we love. We absolutely adore him. He's our honorary antler queen.
He's awesome.
Who obviously he plays your father, Blessing. Your dynamic is so warm and authentic. How did you guys kind of build that father-daughter chemistry, or was there just like a specific moment when it clicked?
It kind of happened pretty quickly. And Tari's a warm person, very generous, very kind. And when I got on set, I was kind of like, what is happening here? You know, and he'd already been on set, and he was just so warm. Like literally my vision of him was just open arms, you know, and I felt very safe. And just walking into a family that I had no history technically with, but he was very comforting. And we shared also a we went to the same grad program as well, MFA at NYU. So we started talking about that and his time there and some of his experiences in classes that he took. And I've been watching him for many years as well. The Shy, I loved him on The Shy, and oh my God, recently also in Smoke. Just
yes.
And I kept texting him. I was like, I just saw it. It's so good. You keep getting better. This is so good. This character just kept, increasingly better. Smoke is really good. Sorry, I know we're Dexter.
Yeah, no, it totally is.
He's very good in Smoke. And so like for me, it was also just admiring his work and his and Tari as a person. And then it was just watching him work too, because I got to see how he worked intimately. And, I'm always learning on this path. I don't think I'll ever stop. I think I'm very curious about the world, and it makes me enjoy my job because I see how people are doing their job, and I know how I'm doing mine. And I'm like, oh, wow, that was such an interesting choice. And, we do it again, and he's doing something different or the same, but in a slightly different way. And, it's the same thing I could say about Michael and David and so many of the actors that I got to work with. It's just such beautiful, full work. And so there's a sense of like, how do I say, like, respect, I think, that I entered our relationship with, because I know that he has so much wisdom, and I feel like he was so generous with that too, so it felt very much like, oh, I feel like, your daughter, and so many ways. It's I graduated many years after you, but here we are. Do you know what I mean? Same storyline, and it's just you can't make this stuff up. It's crazy.
You mentioned before that you're drawn to complex characters like Dexter Morgan. I know you mentioned that in an interview, because of their psychological depth and moral ambiguity. How do you see Joy fitting into the Dexter versus exploration of the blurred lines between right and wrong, and what's been the most exciting part of contributing to that legacy?
Yeah, I think so far what we've seen of Joy is joy. We've seen her happy. We've also seen her stand up for Sam and love, and like he should be, doing whatever he wants. But we've also seen the grief of losing her grandmother. We've also seen the pain of feeling let down by her dad. Sorry if I'm spoiling anything for anybody. But like, we've seen like the span of that joy to grief, and the pain, and also the love. And I think I don't think they're opposites. I think they're kind of quite close. The relationship between joy and pain, and grief and love. And, I think in the world of Dexter, which is, the dark world, there's a constant coming up against what you think about yourself. And I think in this season so far, what we've seen of Joy is her challenging this idea of what she thinks is right and what she thinks is safe and in her comfort zone, and pushing up against the boundaries of that. Like, why does my dad think I'm only, can live in this sort of box that he's put me in? And what do you mean you only have this information and you just met him? Like, that doesn't work. Like, this is supposed to work in a certain way, and it's not working in that way. And she's pushing up against that. And so there's an internal struggle that's happening there, but I think it's coming with growth, of like coming into like defining who she is. And I don't think she knows yet where it's going. And I think, but the pain of her father having gone through that and not finding out from him is just like a dagger, I think. But that's the world of Dexter. And I love what you think is not what is. And like, it's just so well written in that way, in the journeys for the storylines. So it keeps you on your toes, and and it's fun.
I agree. Absolutely. It really makes you more invested. Like that particular storyline between, Joy kind of feeling this pull between Sam and Blessing, and it being in such a transitionary period. It really kind of invest you a lot more in the characters because it's
Yeah.
such a real struggle.
Yeah. It's like you got to kind of like grow up, but you don't want to. Growing up to me is not letting go of family.
Right.
You know, it's not letting go of the relationships that mean so much to who you are today or who she is today. But it also means like this, how do I separate? How do I grow out of that, you know, to become my own thing, but still hold on to it? And it's an ongoing struggle. I know like I've felt that way and many times in my life of just like, I love my family, but wait, I'm not that person anymore that you know of. And like, I'm this way now, but I don't know what that is yet. And I'm like trying to figure it out. And you know, it's confusing, but you still like when you feel the emotions of those growth spurts or those growth pains, it feels like the worst thing in the world. But, you know, I think Dexter had a line to Blessing. He was like, you have no idea what your kids can handle. And, you know, and I think that's true. I think even from the kid perspective, you have no idea what you can handle until you go through these sort of like tests in life that kind of come up against your idea of like, who am I? You know?
Yeah, for sure. Now I'm going to need your help a little bit with this one because I'm so afraid I'm going to mispronounce it. So in addition to being an on-screen actor, you're a writer, producer, musician, and with accomplishments like your R&B reggae single "What Is Loved" and co-founding is it Orisha? Okay, co-founding the Orisha project. Which is fantastic and groundbreaking. I was so interested learning about it. It's an immersive theatrical experience that explores Black women's narratives throughout time and space and in VR and AR technology. How do is there any certain type of creative project that you have not gotten into yet that you're just dying to explore, and how do all of these other creative interests of yours kind of influence your approach to the characters you play on screen? I know it's kind of a complicated question.
Yeah, I think the first one was the first question was what was the first question?
Is there any sort of kind of creative project that you really want to experiment with that you haven't gotten your hands on yet?
No, I'm kind of playing with all the crayons that I want to play with. I think, you know, TV, film, theater, in the immersive world. To me, it's about storytelling, and I love telling stories. So it's about like, what story do I want to tell? What narratives can I be a part of? And, you know, going back to like that curiosity thing, like I feel like I'm a cat in that way. I know cats come up a lot in the season, but I was so happy when it was cats because like, I feel curious like a cat about like, where is this going? How far can we go down the rabbit hole, you know, of this one idea and thought? And I love that. I love playing with that. And I think that's why I enjoy being an artist and, you know, making music. And I have a new song, Natural Mystic, coming out. Actually,
I did read that.
Yeah, next month because it's September now. And you know, it's a song that explores the relationship between nature and humanity, but really through self. And when it's a cover, so Bob Marley originally did the song, and Tough Gong let me re-record in their studio in Kingston. And one of the visions that I had for the song was I wanted nature to be a part of the actual track. And so when we went to the studio, it literally was thunderstorming outside. And I was like, let's incorporate the thunder. Let's incorporate the rain. And so that's in the track. And so like, to me, it's collaborative. I love working with other people. I love working with the natural elements. It's what fuels my storytelling. And so, you know, that's why I talk about the people that I work with, especially when they're part of my process and they're part of my experience, because I think it is a family. We're creating something together, you know? So yeah, hopefully I answered your question.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. That was an awesome answer. Yeah, perfect. It was beautiful. I really interested. I'm looking forward to hearing your cover of that song. That's so cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited to release it.
We don't want to keep you too much. We don't want to keep you. We know you've got an early day, but I just one more question that I'm just dying to know.
Absolutely.
Looking back at your journey to starting in Dexter Resurrection as Joy, if you could go back in time and give yourself a few words of advice or encouragement on that first day, what would you say to yourself?
You booked it. Have fun. You know, I think I was just so it just meant so much to me to be in the world that I wanted to okay, what am I gonna? I mean, I got red Jordans. Like, I wish I had them here with me, but like red Jordans that I wore only to set. Like, I had like a routine. I was like, I'm gonna be wearing these Jordans to set because they're blood red and it's like my vibe. And I'm glad I did that because I mean now I have the shoes. But but like I think it's like sometimes, like, as an actor, and speaking from my own experience, I feel like you work so hard to get to the role, right? And then you get to the role, and then it's like, oh, like, am I going to do a good job at the role? And and I looked back at the episodes that I did, and I was really emotional, to be quite honest. I think, as an actor, you just want to do a good job. And then, but for me, the more I got to know Joy, the more I got to work on this character, I just felt like I love her and I know her so much. And I'm so glad that this version of me is getting to be, because my parents still live in Queens, like I was born in Queens, and that's where we started our American story. And for me to have my pictures around this house, and that's probably what my house looked like when I was little, like, it's so close to home that, sometimes you get a role where you don't have to overthink. You just be. And I felt very much like I tried to do that, but you don't know what you know until you know.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So I feel really happy about the fact that I let myself do that, and hopefully that translates and people can feel that. And I appreciate you guys acknowledging that. But yeah.
That's awesome. I'm just so excited for you that you got to kind of live out a dream,
I was like, check. Oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
But hopefully we keep checking. Like, hopefully we get more seasons and there's more to the story.
Right? I was when I was talking to Natari over the weekend, I was like, he was like, yeah, if hopefully if I get called back for season 2, I'm like, come on. He's like, well, original sin. I mean, no one saw that coming. I'm like, yeah, you have a point.
I don't know. That's way above my pay grade. I have no idea what they're doing, what they're writing, but I'm enjoying the ride. And, it's a character that I love very much and a show that I love very much. So for me, it's just like I would love to continue, but you never know.
I know.
We were joking. Kelly and I were joking last week because there's the image of Dexter on the yacht from the promos that he's going to take Blessing on the yacht and sail around the world to California to go hang out with Joy. Yeah, I hope that's where it's going.
Reese, thank you so much. This was so great of you to jump on here last minute. And everyone check out Reese Antoinette's single coming out later this month, Natural Mystic. And anything else?
Yes.
I feel free to take a few seconds and just shout out anything else that you want.
No, I just want to say thank you to both of you, and for everyone who hasn't seen Dexter Resurrection, please watch. I am a huge fan of the show, but I'm also in the show, and I can tell you it is one of the best seasons of Dexter that I have ever seen, and also witnessed internally. So, like, I can tell you from, all experiences that it's very good. So tune in, and the season finale is coming up.
Yeah.
And also, yes, Natural Mystic, my new song, is coming out October 3rd. I'm very excited about it. I talked a little bit about the process, but I look forward to sharing all of the creative that went into it as well, because it's a conversation that I think is important about the world around us and the nature, and just caring for our air and our oceans and the things that are living that can't speak. So
I love that.
Absolutely.
I love that. By the way, I just wanted to explain we give ourselves these like silly, middle names, nicknames every episode. So unfortunately, we lost Angel, and the joke that we've made all season is like, I knew that Angel was a goner as soon as we met Blessing. And so like my joke all season has been if Dexter gets a girlfriend named like Nevea or something, we got to start worrying about Blessing.
that's funny. That's really funny.
But yeah, thank you so much for joining us, Reese.
Of course.
Been
Thank
wonderful.
you guys. Bye.
Take
Bye.
care. Have a
Thank
great night.
you.